One time for the city, my city.
Justice League.
Bitch up from the land.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shaquille. We here with my other host. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm EJ from the land.
Dre from the land.
All right. Today we are introducing ourselves once again. We're bringing back the Land podcast. We doing the mock draft. Only the first round for right now, just to give y'all a little taste of what we're gonna be doing. We got we got more content, more in-depth content later down the road for y'all. We took us a little bit to get set up and everything, but we here, we back. We here to give y'all that good, unfiltered content that y'all Cleveland boys love already. We gonna try to be as filtered as possible. You know, we ain't trying to get demonetized. Still trying to get some sponsorships down the future and everything. But we gonna be here. We gonna be here loyal. We gonna be consistent with our uploads. You know, at least once a week, at the least, if not 2 or 3. So we're here once again today. Like I said, we're doing a mock draft. Later down the road, we might have a little tournament brackets for y'all. You know, just to give y'all a little hint of what we planning. But like I said, you're gonna get the truth. You're gonna get the real. This is East Cleveland, born and bred. We might have a couple guest hosts later on if we get to that point. You know, if not, we are our own guest hosts. You ain't getting nothing better than what we got.
Right.
So let's start it off, boys. First round, mock pick. I got first, and I'm choosing as the Cincinnati Bengals. They're not going to go with the best player on the board. They're going to go with the position that they need. They're going to go with quarterback, and they're going to keep Andy Dalton for another year to help Joe Burrow in the film room, help him go through some of the things and mechanics that he has to learn as a pro, the work ethic. And then, you know, probably trade him around week 8 once they have full faith in him, you know, instead of just throwing him out there straight to the rules. So Joe Burrow, pick 1, and, you know, look for him to start early in the season, if not week 1.
I like that pick.
It's a good pick.
Even though you know who I go with.
We all know who we'd go with.
Speaking of such, I got the second pick. And, you know, the Redskins need a playmaker on defense. So they're going to take the number 1 playmaker in America, Chase Young.
Chase, going back to his hometown of Washington, too. Get to
Perfect
play
fit.
for his hometown team. Good pick. They took Dwayne Haskins last year, you know, another hometown player. Get him with Chase, a former teammate, hometown players on offense and defense. Bring those fan bases back into that arena. Ooh-wee. Good things are moving along for them Redskins. And they got Terry McLaurin on the outside, who surprised me. Remember, Dre, I didn't know who you was talking about last year. I was like, man.
Hey, man, I had to bring him up.
That boy right there was sneaky good last year. He was a surprise. He was a surprise.
All right, so Lions number 3. Now, we could trade down, but it's a player up there. You know, we traded our best corner, lockdown corner. Dumbass GM move, but that ain't for me. So we just gonna go ahead and keep the Buckeye run going. We gonna go with Jeffrey Okudah, cornerback. Now this man is locked down, man. He's as tough as they get. He got good, you know, hip movement. He can run with the best. Hey man, I just think him and Chase Young, or Chase Young number 1. I think Okudah number 2 off the top prospect board.
I like that pick. Only I mean, I understood why they traded Darius though. You gotta remember, you know, him and Matt Patricia got into it, and you know, it just wasn't in a good position. You know, he wanted to get traded a year or 2 ago, but he bit his tongue. You know, he waited and just was, you know, excellent professional. Came out there, did his job, and they just couldn't get over the hump. So they just said, you know, cut our losses, trade him, get something for him. Made the Eagles better, but with Carson Wentz injury prone, but it doesn't even matter. That defense got better. Ronald Darby is no longer there, so it got a little weaker, but he didn't really add that much to the team last year.
Yeah.
That secondary needed help. So the trade made sense, and they got something for him. They got a good pick for him. So I understand the trade. get as much as you can now, because next year he was gonna leave.
Yeah.
All right, I'm up with pick 4, right? And it's the New York Giants. And now a lot of people got Isaiah Simmons going there. A lot of people got Jarek Willis going there. Well, guess who I got going there? Jarek Willis. And here's why. They need to get that offensive line set. So many times, Saquon Barkley had to create so much out of the backfield before he even got a chance to get to the line of scrimmage. He was making somebody miss and then getting hit. You know, he was really becoming Barry Sanders 2.0, running 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage just to get 1 or 2 yards. Daniel Jones was looking good, got hurt because their offensive line is so bad. So they need to protect him. I know Isaiah Simmons is a great prospect to look at, but their offensive line need help. And if you're going to protect your future quarterback and your future running back, what better than to get a great offensive tackle to pair with your great young guard of Will Hernandez and your veteran guard in Kevin Zeiler, who struggled a little bit last year, but had a great season overall, but struggled a little bit. So, I mean, they're going to get better, but that offensive line has to be built up. And I think they're going to go offensive tackle over Isaiah Simmons.
I'm going to point something else out. They signed Nate Solder last year. Free agency. He
was hurt,
ain't
though.
been he ain't been the same, man.
Yeah, he was hurt when he left the Patriots. I was surprised that they took a gamble on him, gave him a decent amount of money. It ain't work out though. So I mean, that's why I don't think they're gonna go tackle. They might keep him, but I doubt it. I very much doubt that they're gonna keep him.
I doubt it. I don't see it happening.
I mean, they're gonna keep him, but probably as a backup, not as a
backup. He's gonna be a good person to learn from.
Yeah, you know, a good veteran to learn from. Been in the league for about 8+ years, I believe.
Yeah.
Learned from, was on the championship team with the Patriots. You know, he got a ring. So he was doing something right for protecting Tom Brady for all those years. So good player to learn from, but just not a good starter no more.
Yeah. I got the 5th pick. I got the they need a quarterback. Miami, Marquee City. You need a marquee name. We're going to take Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua. Big Oos.
Tank for Tua.
Of course, injury concerns, but if he's healthy, he's going to be special for that team.
And that's the big thing that they're banking on, is that health. You know, it was reports that came out that they tried to fly him down there for a private meeting before the quarantine happened with the coronavirus. Couldn't do it. Then his workout video came out, and it was a good workout video. You know, he was looking crisp on his throws. You know, his hip movements was looking good, but it wasn't that much he could really show. It wasn't like it was the pro day where, you know, they was going to have him go through everything, and it wasn't as strenuous a test as teams would have liked on one-on-one occasions. Who knows if the Redskins could have got a look at him, they might take him at number 2. But that question mark of his injury history is going to shy away a lot of teams probably. But I like the Dolphins taking him at number 2. I mean, at number 5. Number 2 quarterback off.
Ooh, number 6, we got the LA Chargers, man. Now I did a lot of studies. Most people will say maybe go O-line, because you know you got Tyrod Taylor there. But I just this draft is, they got a few quarterbacks that you can plug and play if Tyrod isn't for Lynn, the head coach. So I'm gonna go ahead and get Jordan Love, Utah State. We're gonna go ahead and I looked at a lot of film. Man, that man is special.
I like that pick.
He remind me a lot of Colin Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
He can definitely throw that ball, man. I did a lot of study on him. I mean, I was high on Herbert, but when I went and look at the film yesterday, hey man, Jordan Love got something going.
I remember somebody telling you about who really was gonna go there, right?
I remember.
I wonder who that was. I wonder who that person was. You know, that person was smart. I love how smart that person was. He saw the future.
I had to do my research.
All right, I really like that pick. You know, like I said, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. At first you was at Herbert, but I told you, you know, it'd be a sneaky pick. You know, Jordan Love is my third quarterback coming off the board. I really like that pick a lot. Next we got the Carolina Panthers picking at number 7, and it's only one spot I see them going with this. I really hope they don't. I really hope this player falls to number 10. But let's be real. The loss of Luke Kuechly is the biggest thing to this team. Now, granted, they could go Patrick Queen. I don't think they're going to go Patrick Queen. I think they're going to go with the top linebacker in this draft. Not middle linebacker, but linebacker. Hybrid. Swiss Army knife. They're going to go Isaiah Simmons. You're going to have your edge rusher, the pair of Brian Burns on the outside. You're going to have them drop back in coverage sometimes, or you can blitz the safety. You're going to have them play the middle. You're going to have them play tight ends, slot receivers, running backs coming out of the backfield, some QB zones or spots, and you're going to be able to have them do everything for you. While he might not be the highly sung player, you know, getting all the stats like he was in college, but he's going to be there every time. He's going to shut down the hot route receiver. He's going to be there and making an impact immediately, especially with Luke Kuechly being gone. This could be the chance that they need to re-identify that defense. You know, like when Patrick Willis retired, it took so long for the 49ers defense to get back. He retired in 2012. It's 2019, and they just remade the Super Bowl. I believe he retired in 2012. It might be 2014. But they just now made the Super Bowl. So this is the chance for the Panthers to get that defense back on the road. Hopefully get back in the playoffs this season and see where they go. They need to start defense.
That's a good pick. That's a real good pick. I got the Cardinals. I was thinking going with Derek Brown here, but I got to keep Kyler protected. So I'm going to go Austin Jackson. I'm going to go Austin Jackson.
Now, with most people, you know, they like a couple, you know, 2 or 3 more, you know, offensive tackles up there. Why do you think Austin Jackson best fits the Cardinals?
I just like what I seen on film, the work ethic that he has. I think the intangibles make the difference. He has a lot of technique things that need to be taught, but you can teach those things. But the intangibles, the heart, the effort, keep fighting, finishing blocks. He does all of those things. Good footwork. Of course, he has a lot to be cleaned up, but I think he'll work out at the next level for sure.
I like that pick.
Nice. That was nice. Jacksonville at number 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need defensive line help bad. We're trying to trade one of our players for a couple more picks. We thought Carolina was going to draft him, but, you know, we would just steal him up. You know, at number 9, we're going to go ahead and get Derek Brown from Auburn. I think he's a plug-and-play player, man. He can bulk up that middle, you know, let
Day one.
Let that linebacker come up there, get a couple tackles, you know.
Miles Jack.
It'll be real good in there.
I like that pick. That's a good pick. All right. We picking number 10, the dog pound. And when you in the dog pound, you need somebody who's going to inspire that defense
Don't blow it,
Who's gonna
Shaq.
lead that whole defense, inspire everybody. When you playing the Steelers, that's gonna lead with that. When you playing the Ravens, who gonna make Lamar think twice? I can't dance around. I gotta go straight out of bounds. I gotta slide. When you playing the Bengals, he gonna make Joe Mason look scared. You need that player, and it's only one player in this position. Now they could go middle linebacker. Like I said, if Isaiah Simmons is there, if Patrick Queen is there, they could go there. But instead of offensive tackle, I want them to go strong safety. With, to me, my favorite safety in this draft, Grant Delpit. He has the size. He has the hit power. He has the defensive leadership and IQ to lead that team, rally that team, and be a great defensive leader. Day one captain in this league, in my opinion. Pair him with Denzel Ward in the on the outside with Greedy Williams, with Myles Garrett in the DN spot, and then you got a force to be reckoned with. You know, you got somebody back there who can lead that young defensive core, have them all set up in the right position, and call out the things that the quarterback is making. He's going to be in that film room day one, ready to work and get and prove to everybody why he should have been the first player off the board. But he is not the first player. He's the first safety, though. Let's go, Grant Delpit. Big team.
I got a question real quick. A lot of people gonna question your pick. I mean, I like it personally. I love him
I like the pick.
as a player, but you know we're gonna have some questions. Many people saying like you can get him in the second round, which I don't think he's gonna get out the first round. So can you explain like why you think they should go ahead and grab him at 10 and not like trade back and risk it?
Look, this is why you don't risk trading back. Because more often than not, the Browns don't really have the quality pick to trade back into that first round pick. It's a lot more teams, like, for instance, the Bengals. If he falls so far, like, and people think he's going to leave out of the second round, the Bengals could use a good, strong safety. You know, the Redskins might trade up. They just cut Monte Nicholas. They got Landon Collins on the opposite side. They might switch him to free safety, have him back there, and it'd be like Sean Taylor's back there. You know, it's so many variables to this, and they so far in the second round. You can trade up and get your safety, or you can wait and get another safety. But why not take the best safety available, and not just the best safety, the best player at that pick? You have a middle linebacker available. You can go middle linebacker if that's what you truly believe. But you can get a lot more middle linebackers further down, just a little bit further down in the second round. It's a better linebacker. It's a good quality linebacker. It's not a great quality safety, more than not, that can start day one, that you don't have to worry about. So, in my opinion, if you don't go strong safety and you don't trade for Trent Williams, you go tackle. If you get Trent Williams, you can go guard. It's a lot of possibilities. But what I want them to do is get that defense set up, because that's what cost us games last year. We lost because of our defense. We lost to the Cardinals. Why? Because our defense heart was broken. Myles Garrett was gone. Once Myles Garrett left, that defense didn't know what to do with them. Yeah. You need somebody that can rally that defense, keep them with their head going forward, and say, hey, I'm going to be the heart and soul of this defense. And when y'all looking down, I'm going to get y'all back up. That Ray Lewis effort and spirit. Grant Delpit is going to bring that. If not Isaiah Simmons, Grant Delpit is my second best choice.
All right, we got the pick, number 11. I don't think this is a tough pick at all. We need a receiver. We're going to go ahead and grab CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee just lost Robbie Anderson to the Panthers. Great pickup right there. And I thought they would have tried to at least make an offer to Robbie Anderson. I thought the Browns would have too. But for him to wait so long and go for the amount that he did, I'm a little surprised. They get the Panthers 3 receivers out there. Curtis, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson. So that's a good pickup for them. And that's a good addition by the Jets. Yeah, arguably the best receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
And you got a chance to, with the Jets, you also got a chance to grab another one because, you know, this receiving core, you know, in this draft is so deep.
It's very deep.
You got tons of receivers. You got physical receivers, you got speed receivers, you got possessional receivers, you got receivers that can just go up and grab it in the end zone. So man, it's so deep. So grabbing CeeDee Lamb right there, I think he's gonna be a superstar in my opinion. I'm not gonna compare him to DeAndre Hopkins, but I think he's gonna be up and coming. But I like that pick.
I do too.
Oh man, we got the new and approved Las Vegas, the Raiders. This is where, in my opinion, the receiving board just gets wiped out, top tier wise, because we're gonna go receiver 2. We just gonna go ahead and grab him. I think, in my opinion, if it wasn't for CeeDee Lamb in this draft, I think he would be the top receiver on this draft, arguably. We're gonna go ahead and grab Jerry Jeudy from Alabama. Now, we could go, cornerback because or maybe safety, but we're gonna go ahead and help Derek Carr.
I like that. Get a good receiver in there, young, with a contract that you can manage. You don't have to worry about paying them right away. You get to replace Amari Cooper finally, and you get a true number 1 receiver out there. And you got Hunter Renfrow in the spot making plays. And you got Darren Waller at tight end. You got a good running back in Josh Jacobs, a very decent offensive line for the most part. So I like that pick. Great pickup. All right. I'm up, and we're on the San Francisco 49ers. And this is a tough one because I really want to go receiver with Henry Ruggs. But at the same time, I also want to go with a defensive tackle. They just traded away DeForest Buckner to the Colts. They need to replace that with a contract that they can manage with a player that can be an impact player day one. I feel like we can get a cornerback later in the draft, or a receiver later in the draft. So that's where my first pick is gonna go for with the San Francisco 49ers. We're gonna go defensive tackle. We're gonna go Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina to replace DeForest Buckner with that pick.
I'm not mad at that. That guy's a monster. You got the Bucks with the 14th pick. You just got Tom Brady. You got to keep him safe. It's no question. And you want a guy that's going to fight for him, finish blocks, play to the whistle. A lot of people think Tristan Wirfs is that guy. I don't see it. He doesn't finish enough blocks for me. I'm going to go Mekhi Becton.
Big body, 6'7", 350 plus. Personally, not fast enough for me, but he's not gonna have to look for speed. They're gonna mainly do pass blocking, but it's some great speed rushers in that edge on in that NFC. You're gonna have his work cut out for him day one right away. But they got he's gonna have a good quarterback in that room. He got Rob Gronkowski on the inside, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Ronald Jones in there. And then you just get that offensive line set up, and man, them
Sure.
Bucks
And you got Tom Brady, the king of the dink and dunk. He's not gonna have to hold guys very long.
Right.
Just
and
fight.
then you got that route runner from Chris Godwin. You might not even need Mike Evans to do 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns.
Really?
You might need him to do 900 yards with 6 touchdowns. Chris Godwin's gonna ball out. He might be the Wes Welker version of that team right now. That they got so much depth in that position, and I really like it. Only thing I see them doing is if Henry Ruggs falls to him, I feel like they might take a shot at Ruggs just to give him another weapon.
Yeah.
Oh man, Denver number 15. We tried before the draft to trade up, try to get the number 1 receiver, but we couldn't do that. They wanted too much, so we're gonna go ahead and get the speed demon, 4'2", 40, clean, polished, can catch, can run, kick return, punt return. We're going to go ahead and get Henry Ruggs from Alabama.
That's a good pick.
Help
Good,
Drew Lock out
durable
a lot.
receiver. Good, durable receiver. Him, Cortland Sutton out there with Noah Fant. Very, decent offensive line, not the best, about top, not top, but like average, probably top 20 offensive line. Decent defense. So I really like that pick for them. Get another receiver to help out a young quarterback. That really took over. Who knows what they would have been if he would have started earlier in the season. Picking 16 for Atlanta. No, we just got Dante Fowler, but we lost Vic Beasley. We got my boy. We got my boy Tack McKinley on the other side of Dante Fowler. We got Deion Jones in the tackle position. We have Keanu Neal, who's coming back from an injury. We have Kendall Sheffield at the cornerback spot. But our cornerback room is weak. We just lost our main cornerback. We cut him. We let him go. We thought he wasn't producing enough no more for us. He was there for years. He did great. We really loved his effort, but it's time to welcome in a new, younger, fresh core. And with this, we're adding C.J. Henderson from Florida, 6'1", good size, good speed, good physicality at the line of scrimmage. You're really going to be able to really cause some mismatches and be hoping that he can affect that boy from OSU, Michael Thomas, enough to for us to get to that offense, that quarterback and Drew Brees with that new pass rush we just got together, and hopefully cause some damage out there.
Love that pick, man. I love C.J. Henderson as a player. I think if it wasn't so, lineman and defensive line and linebacker rich this draft, he could easily be top 10, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the Cowboys with the 17th pick. I was looking to go wide receiver here, but I think instead I'm going to go for someone opposite Marcus Lawrence, and I'm going to go A.J. Epinesa.
Nice.
That's a good pick.
So, we got Tua. Miami Dolphins. We got Tua. We got to protect Tua. We got offensive line on the board. We're going to go ahead and get Tristan Wirfs, lineman, offensive tackle from Iowa. What I like about him is you can put, even if he don't work out as offensive tackle, you can plug him inside at guard, where I think he better suits in the NFL. Dolphins, they can gamble. They ain't got nothing to lose for right now. I mean, they need talent, Go ahead and grab Wirfs.
I like that pick. Get the rebuild that offensive line with your future quarterback. I really like that pick. And back up here with their second pick is the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, with the Raiders, I was thinking more of them going, they just lost their safety to the Browns, Carl Joseph, who was a good safety for them. They need cornerback help. They need linebacker help. But I feel like he hasn't been picked yet. He fell all the way down here. The best linebacker in this draft. If not the best linebacker in total, best middle linebacker. Best leader in that locker room for the linebacker class. And that is Patrick Queen from LSU. Look at that championship tape. It was a reason why he was defensive MVP. There was a reason why his team highly raved about him. He was always there to make the plays. He was always around the football. He knew what he was doing. He has that Troy Polamalu sense for the ball. No matter where he goes, the ball is somehow in his vicinity. He's either making a big play or he's affecting the play. So they are going to go with that middle linebacker from LSU, Patrick Queen, to reinvent that defense like they was doing last year. Defense, high character guys that can help that team right now and bring in a culture change that John Gruden loves and that Mike Mayock is going for. He's going to keep building around people that can affect that team, not only spiritually, mentally, and physically, but culturally. And Patrick Queen is that guy.
Love it, man. I love that.
I like that pick. Let's see. We have pick 20. We got the Jaguars back up again. They need a DB. We need a DB.
Right.
And I'm going to take who I think is the best remaining DB, Jalen Johnson from Utah.
I like that. I like him a lot.
Man, can he cover?
He can cover.
Can he cover?
He can very well. Good hit. Head around. Technically sound.
I like that.
All right, so Philadelphia. I want to take this time to shout out my man Corey. You know, he's a big Philadelphia Eagle fan. He told me to go offensive line, but I'm not going to go there. I see a receiver on the board that I like. They need receivers. You know, Carson Wentz couldn't throw it to nobody. You know, they had Butterfingers all over the board last year. So we're going to go ahead and get Justin Jefferson from LSU, one of the most polished receivers in this draft. He don't got a lot of speed,
Possession guy.
he can get it done.
Yes, sir.
I like that pick.
And he's got a sneaky second gear.
Yeah. He's not as fast as the Judys and the Ruggs, but he can get it done. Look at that playoff run, man. He shattered Oklahoma and he shattered Clemson.
Yeah.
They couldn't contain him. He helped Joe Burrow win the Heisman, in my opinion.
I agree.
So with that pick, Philadelphia, I think, get a stud. Still one of the steals of this draft.
I like that pick.
I'm up next with the Minnesota Vikings. Now the Vikings are in a precarious situation. They have a number of needs that they can go with. They just traded Stephon Diggs for a first-round pick for the Bills. So they can wait later in the draft to get the receiver. They got they in the position to, get their pairing mate with Danielle Hunter and go opposite of him. They in a position to get a true number one cornerback because Trey Waynes is getting older, Xavier Rhodes is getting older. They can't really rely on them that much no more. But they're going to go ahead and go defensive line because you never know when the Saints might just take this player. The Saints might beat them out. They like when they pick next, he might not be here. So you have to go ahead and go with that right here, right now. Geeter, Ghost, Matos is my choice for this defensive line to pair nice with Danielle Hunter. I really like his story. Heard his story a few days ago. Really liked his story. His heart, his willpower to keep going no matter what life threw at him. So Geeter is what they need on that defensive side. Another guy who can inspire defense. So I'm going to go with Geeter to Minnesota, pick number 22.
Oh yeah, he already trained for the cold weather, man. Penn State.
Yeah, did good against that Big Ten last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that pick. So it looks like I got the Patriots at 23. Few needs. I think I'm gonna go quarterback here. I think I'm going to go quarterback here. A lot of people would say no because they have Stidham. I'm not sure that they're sold on him.
Yeah.
And I think this guy would be good competition in the locker room for him. One of these guys going to have to win the competition. I like Justin Herbert at this spot.
Man.
Chargers passed him up.
That's a great pick, man. That's a great pick. One of the gambles of the draft, I should say. If you go with him, I mean, he has a high ceiling, but he also has a low floor. He got a great arm, and he's sneaky on the run side, but he's inconsistent against top competition in college. I mean, look at that. I think it was was it Clemson?
Yes, the Clemson
game. He struggled in that fourth quarter. And I think if you let him sit and learn from, Bill Belichick, I think he can become an elite quarterback. But I mean, if he goes to one of these, top 10 teams, I don't think he'll fare well. But I like that pick from the Patriots.
I like that. That's a good pick. Right now we're where? New Orleans?
I'm up next.
That's on you.
Now with New Orleans, we hate New England right now because we was gonna go quarterback, but with him off the board, we're gonna have to address another need of ours. Our linebacker core is not too shabby right now, so he's still on the board. I think he's as good as the other linebackers. I mean, not Isaiah Simmons, but we think he's better than Patrick Queen. So we're gonna go ahead and get Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma.
That's disrespectful. But I understand what you're saying. I understand. He about he my 1B for middle linebacker. I can see why he'll fall, but I can also see why he'd be picked up earlier in the draft. Him, Patrick Queen, Isaiah Simmons. They all got sideline to sideline speed. They can cover the running back coming out of the backfield. They all can lead the defense. So I like that pick a lot for the Saints. Now we have pick 25. Minnesota is back on the board. We went D-line earlier. We was able to steal Yetur Gross-Matos from our rival, the Saints, who we broke their heart 2 straight years in the playoffs. Or not 2 straight years, but 2 out of the 3 years in the playoffs. We was able to stab another dagger in their heart, and we're going to get another dagger in their heart because we're going to match up in their weakness. They only got one good lockdown cornerback, and that he can only guard one person. So we're going to get a big body, a Mike Thomas of our own, and we're going to go with T. Higgins out of Clemson to give us a big body, give us a receiver that can catch, who can move the cornerback off. You can't play bump and run with him because if you do, he might lay you on your ass. You don't get a person who's able to just dominate the line of scrimmage. Our Mike Evans, our Mike Thomas, ex-player. I don't think his ceiling, I think he might max out around Brandon Marshall, but you're gonna be able to get those quality years from him for about 8-9 years. A great starting receiver on that side to take over for Adam Thielen when he retires.
Love it, man. I love that pick.
Yeah, I like that pick. I'm back up with the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
We addressed some offensive issues. And I think we can get a running back later in the draft. I think I'm going to go with the edge rusher here that I think can be a difference maker on defense. I'm going to go K'Lavon Chaisson.
Surprised he fell that far. I was thinking about him in the back of my head when I chose Yetur, but that's a great pick.
Yeah.
Excellent.
After Chase, those are probably the best 3 edge rushers that went in picks 20s is AJ, Chaisson and Yetur. They right there by each other.
They deserve to go in the first.
Yeah. Chase, I think, is heads above them, and I think they would fall. So it is right there. They don't got that much separation from each other, but Chase did, obviously for obvious reasons, lead that edge for a reason. So I like that pick though. Great edge rusher.
All right, 27. We got Seattle. Seattle Seahawks. I'm repping them today. Love the colors, but
Not a Browns fan.
we were gonna go edge rusher, but you stole our guy right there. I mean, we loved him. But Russell Wilson needs help, man. I'm tired of him scrambling around. I'm the GM. I'm tired of him scrambling around, getting hit. So we see a guy that's still on the board, and we want to get him right now. I don't know how he fell this far. We're going to go ahead and get Andrew Thomas from Georgia, offensive tackle.
That's a good pick. That's a great pick.
We're going to have to keep Russell Wilson upright. We're going to have to let him get the ball out of his hands, get the running back later on in the rounds. But I think Andrew Thomas is one of the best guards in this draft, tackles in this draft. Sorry about that.
All right. I'm up next. And this I'm a little torn here because I have the Baltimore Ravens, and it's a couple places I expect them to go here. I'm kind of thinking they might go receiver just to give, Lamar more of a traditional number one, but then there's rumblings that the Ravens might be looking to sign Antonio Brown. So until that happens, I'm not going to really pull the trigger on the receiver here. But what I am going to do, but I'm going to handle that interior offensive line. We just lost Marshall Yanda. We need an offensive lineman back there. Our interior wasn't that great. We're going to go Cesar Ruiz, somebody who can play center or guard from Michigan. We need a big body in there who can, help us right away, plug-and-play guy. I'm going to go with Cesar Ruiz from Michigan for that interior lineman spot.
That's a good pick.
It's a special player, man. He got leadership off the board, man.
He plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Trying to show people why he should have been the first lineman took.
Yeah. I got the 29th pick with the Titans. I don't see, honestly, any edge rushers left worth wasting this pick on. But I do see a D lineman. I'm going to go Ross Blacklock, TCU.
Excellent.
I like that pick.
That man is a bull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he'll talk smack and back it up, man.
In that backfield, disrupt things.
And that helps them replace Darrell Casey, who they just lost.
Yeah.
Paid to the Broncos. So that's a good pickup. Personally, you talking about it ain't no edge rushers. You missed out on one. I got one in the back of my head. who I think he gonna unfortunately San Francisco not gonna need him, but it's one in the back of my head.
We're gonna see.
We'll talk about it at the end, All right, so Green Bay number 30. Offensive line can be our target, but we can get that later on. We're going to go ahead and get our receiver to help A-Rod out, so he can sling it, new regime, get back in the playoffs. We're going to go ahead and get Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State. I think he's one of the better speed players in this draft. I mean, him and Henry Ruggs can go bar for bar, in my opinion. Ayuk he's a good possessional receiver too. He can catch the ball, but once he get that gear in, and he's gone.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
Mm.
All right, I'm back up with the San Francisco 49ers. Unfortunately, we don't really need an edge rusher. If we did, I would have went Terrell Lewis, but what we do need is DB. Why did the 49ers lose at the end of that game? They didn't have the depth at defensive back. Sherman was a little too old. He was too tired to be out there on that last drive, and he didn't have nobody who could relieve him. Why didn't he have nobody that could relieve him? They invested too much in that D line. We answered D line earlier with the Javon Kinlaw pickup, so now we're gonna go D back, and this one D back who fell this far, and I'm surprised he fell this far. I have him coming top 20, but he's here, and it's Christian Fulton out of LSU. 6 foot, good size, good. He can jam you at that line of scrimmage. He can move with you left and right. I really like him a lot. He was one of the shutdown cornerbacks on that team that really won him that game. And he has a great defensive line. He don't have to hold people up that long. He has Richard Sherman on the outside of him. So he get to learn from one of the best people. He can be on this island. It can be 2 islands. Like when Reeves was playing with Cromartie, they might have him just follow around one side, or you leave him on one side, and they can just do their thing. That's a great pickup in my opinion. He fell to him at a great spot, and they was able to answer defensive tackle, get a contract that they can manage, and cornerback can get another contract that they can manage for the next 5 years.
I love that pick. I think he's still late in the draft. I think it's another corner where after the draft I'm gonna address because I think y'all sleeping on him. But I'm gonna let that be known. I like that pick though.
I'm good with that pick. I got the final pick of the first round with the Chiefs, Super Bowl champs. Some concerns on defense. And I like to go for a playmaking linebacker. And I think there's one on the board that a lot of people have slept on. But I'm going to go Jeremy Chin. He's nice. He's nice, and he's versatile.
He a sneaky pick there.
If Browns didn't go Delpit, I think they would have traded up and get him. I love his recovery. Even when he's getting beat, he can go and snatch the ball, man, or make a play on it.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, that's a great pick in my opinion. If they don't go there and one of the cornerbacks fall, I feel like the Chiefs might go cornerback. They just lost Kendall Fuller or Kendall or Kyle. I don't remember which Fuller it is. I know it's one of them played for the Bears. One of them played for it's Kendall. Just went to the Redskins. So it's either cornerback or it's linebacker. So that I like that. If the cornerback not there, definitely probably linebacker.
I think cornerback would probably be a safer pick, but I just wanted to show my boy Jeremy some love.
All right, man. I'm gonna end this out because I didn't get my last pick, so I'm gonna pick the first at second round for Cincinnati. We addressed our quarterback of the future, but we gonna go on the defensive side of the ball. We got picks for the offensive linemen later on, so we're gonna go ahead and get I think one of the best linebackers in this class, Zach Bond from Wisconsin. That man can hit you, that man can cover, and that man is a leader. And I think Cincinnati's defense needs that. I think Cincinnati, they're in the rebuild mode. What better to get a Ray Lewis type player?
I like that pick.
Yes, that's a good pick.
I like it.
All right, now with that being said, draft is over. I see a couple players on here that I think could have went first round but dropped. We each gonna give one player that's still on the board that who slipped that we think could have went first, but in our minds didn't go. I'm gonna start it off. I think Marlon Davidson from Auburn, edge rusher. I think he's in the second tier of defensive linemen, that could have went, but in our cases, we didn't think that he was the right fit for each team.
I like that. All right. Me personally, like I said, you got Terrell Lewis. You got a couple cornerbacks and AJ Terrell and Trevon Diggs, who I think might edge in there towards the last pick for the Chiefs. But a player that I feel like could really slip in and make it is possibly Denzel Mims out of Baylor. A big receiver, can take the top off of the defense. Not the fastest person in the court, but big size, fast, can catch the ball. Acrobatic catches throughout the entire season. Remember saying one hand where juggled, he still caught it falling, and everybody thought he was out of bounds. He was able to stay in bounds. Great hands, great hand-eye vision. So I feel like he is one of the players who can edge out there in the receiver corps in this deep receiving class. If not, go there, he might sneak up and be the Redskins pick for number 2 in the second round, not the first round. Clear.
I think there's a running back good enough to go in the first, to sneak up into the first.
You going?
Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin.
Jonathan Taylor? That is not where I thought you was going.
I know where you thought I was going. I think he can sneak up into the first 2.
Who?
Don't get me wrong. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No, he wasn't picked. Yes, DeAndre Swift wasn't chosen in this mock. Out of Georgia, he wasn't picked up.
Nobody picked him?
No, that's what I thought he was going Miami.
No, I thought he got picked.
This whole time I'm like, all right, one of these picks. And then you like, we can answer the running back position
he's
later.
The top of the running back class.
Yeah.
Dolphins can easily get him in the second round, man, if they wanted to.
And then they don't have to reach. They have J.K. Dobbins. They have Jonathan Taylor. They can get a good running back. But truthfully, I thought you would have had him with your last pick in the first round.
I didn't know he was still on the board.
I really like in my head. I'm like, I thought like the Chiefs could go running back. The Dolphins. I was like, man, there's no way he's really. He might not lead that first round for real. But
if he drops into the second, he's still automatic.
Yeah, the Dolphins don't have to reach. They have Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You have J.K. Dobbins. You have Cam Akers. You have Zach. I think his name's Zach Moss. There are so many running backs in this class that can come in and play great. And I think the top 4 or top 5 is DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jonathan Taylor, and Cam Akers. Those are my 5 that I would go with over everybody else right now. And I was in my head. I thought you were saying go and say DeAndre Swift, but
how we let him drop though?
We didn't have nobody that needed a running back.
I think
you had the Dolphins 3 picks. I was like, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. Seahawks might go with him. I was thinking it's a couple teams. Some people might just trade down and say, hey, you need a running back, trade us your second round pick in the third, or something like that. But it's gonna be a toss up. We gonna see, man.
Yeah. All right, now
it's
one
great.
more. All right, what's your if you had out of the first round, if you had to pick maybe a bust, who would it be?
Bust out of the first round?
I started off.
No, I got it.
You got it? You got it? Okay.
And this is what I'm gonna say. I don't like. It's so hard to tell. And this is why I'm gonna say he's gonna be a bust. It's 2 people on my mind. Is Mekhi Becton. I told you why I think he's not mobile enough. But it's two more people too. But it's him and Isaiah Simmons is 1A, 1B for me. And here's why with Isaiah Simmons. It's so hard to be a hybrid player in the NFL. You know, so many people come in and try and they just can't. The team just not built around for it. They don't have the imagination to really make them flourish in that system. And sometimes their skill set just flounders. And, you know, he might have to put on more weight to primarily be a linebacker. He might have to lose weight to primarily be a safety or put on a little bit more weight to play strong safety like Cam Chancellor. But I feel like Isaiah Simmons could be the biggest buzz depending on what team he goes to. You have to really have somebody who can really be able to use him to his fullest capabilities. And I like the Panthers' choice and coach with a offensive mind, but an offensive mind isn't gonna maximize a defensive talent. You know, especially one who hasn't been in college. Joe Brady, I don't think he has it enough to really maximize his talent, man. You know, if Ron Rivera was still there, that's 100%. He's not a bust. But with their coach now being fresh out of college, there's no way in my mind that he's not gonna struggle if he goes to the Panthers. So I say Isaiah Simmons.
I think Isaiah Simmons. He reminds me of what is his name? Peppers.
Julius Peppers.
When he came from Michigan to Cleveland. At the time I liked the pick, but I mean, when you line them, when you got multiple positions to study, especially those key positions, I don't think it translates well in the NFL. I mean, college you can get away with it, but I don't think in the NFL you can really, get away with that type of stuff.
Oh, no. I think you're talking about Julius Peppers. I'm like, you talking about Jabril?
You talking about Jabril?
Yeah, I'm like Julius. Jabril Peppers, Michigan linebacker or safety linebacker type player. Yeah, traded to the Giants. Yeah, that's a good. I forgot all about him. That's true, man. That's a good reference. I completely forgot about that. That's how little he impacted me. That's because we traded away from Deshaun fucking Watson. I completely erased that shit out of my mind. But David Njoku and him is but it lets OBJ, which we might trade any fucking way. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think if it's a player that's in this draft that might be a bust, I'm gonna go. You went with him, Elijah. I'm gonna say Jalen Johnson. This simply because the competition factor. I mean, Pac-12. You got speedsters, but you ain't got them. Mike Thomas's of the worlds, and he really. I'm not gonna discredit the guy. He's a great corner, but if I had to find a bust, that's what I'm gonna go with.
I got like 3 possible busts that I'm really sure have a big chance of becoming busts. 2 of them are quarterbacks.
Justin Herbert and Jordan Love.
Yeah, for sure. It depends on how high Jordan Love goes, because those top teams, a lot of them don't have good O-lines.
Yeah,
that are going to give him what he needs to get the ball where he needs to get.
Even the Patriots.
Yeah. I think the Patriots is the best spot for him. So,
yeah.
I think that's the best spot for him.
Yeah, those 2 make sense. What about your third possible? Who you saying for that one?
Honestly, C.J. Henderson. C.J. Henderson. And his issue is a lot of technique things.
Yeah.
Getting the head around late, allowing guys to beat you, kind of getting your eyes caught in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? You have elite speed as a cornerback, but you can't think that you could just catch up to everybody. Because in the league, guys are going to keep running.
And now that you say that, I just thought about this. That's a lot of fucking problems with the Florida cornerbacks, bro. Yeah. Only person who really didn't have that issue was Joe Hayden.
Yeah.
But Vernon Hargreaves had that issue, just relied on athleticism and speed too much. and was getting beat and wasn't really able to react fast enough to the things going on. So that's a
good
the difference
comparison.
between them and those Miami players. Same area, but those Miami players' defense and technique translated to
Yeah.
the NFL better than those Gators. So that makes sense now. Now that I think about it. It might just be the technique coach down there. It might be something. But Joe Hayden, to my knowledge, like off the top of my mind, is the only player who I think really came in and was like technically sound day one and stayed at that level. He's 30 now, still at the one of the top cornerbacks in the league. He's not spoken about as much because you don't have to speak about him. A lot of people want to might say, "Oh, what about that play with DeAndre Hopkins?" If you look at that goddamn play, it's offensive passing interference. Like, I mean, I
And
wish I
DeAndre
could play that video right now. He's pulling Joe Hayden down while he jumps up, tips the ball back to himself, catches it, and falls. Like, that is offensive pass interference. If you look at that video, y'all know what video I'm talking about. Look at the video, man. Go back and look at that play. It's when Joe Hayden's with the Steelers. It's in the end zone on the back left side, right there by the pylon. Not at the end corner on the left end, but just around like in the middle part, right there by the out of bounds part. He barely catches it, but it's offensive pass interference. Like, it was a great play. I give it up to him because it was a heady decision that he made, but offensive pass interference, man. Come on now, that should have been fucking called. Like, I mean, the referee is looking right there at it. He has to call that play. But I'm just upset because Joe Hayden is my favorite cornerback.
With that being said, though, we're gonna have to wrap this video up for this week. Shaq, you want to tell them a little bit about what we got for them next week?
All right, y'all. Next week we got a little, tournament bracket we're gonna be introducing. We're gonna be doing these with a couple different sports. We're gonna introduce the top tournament brackets for top teams of the decade. Each person has 8 teams. We're gonna do research on them, choose why each team advances and things like that. We're gonna have them play. Like, mine is against OSU 2019. Elijah's is against Clemson, correct, of 2019. Yeah. And Dre's is against Alabama, correct, or Oklahoma? Which one? Oklahoma of 2019. And it's just gonna be top 10 teams of the decade. And then the last team who make it out. No, not Oklahoma. LSU of 2019 is who you got. And the last teams who make it out, you're gonna see who we agree with makes it out of that edge. But that's what we got on the bracket for next week. We're gonna add something else to it. But right now that's just it. The tournament. Y'all stay safe out there. Social distancing. This is gonna be over soon. Everybody gonna be able to go outside, have fun. Look at Florida, already at the beach. So it's only a matter of time, man, before everybody is at the beach. Get your beach body ready. I got you. Yep. See y'all next week.
See you next week, man.
See you next week.